medicine and stuff. I'm supposed to see all my medicine and stuff. Okay. Hey, everybody. Well, we're back again. It's another time to talk. It's TTT, y'all. And it's a Monday night at 8 o'clock Central. And I hope you have had a good week. For all the mothers, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I did. I got to eat all the crab in the world that I wanted to, even though I couldn't eat much because of the past week's dental surgery or whatever. But it was good. And the firstborn came down from New York. And so we've gotten to fight a little bit. We haven't even fought. Y'all be surprised. But nonetheless, we are here. And I want to tell you, thank you for continuing to come back. And for anyone who is new here, I'll just say we have been doing this since July. We started doing it during the pandemic. Allowing people to tell their stories, because I have a firm believer that God knew that we were not going to listen to him sometime. And so he put people in places and gave people things to talk about and experiences and stories so that they could talk to us. And so we could learn that it's not just us who's going through this. It's many people. And people have overcome so many different things. If you've seen the show, we've had lupus, we've had the COVID, we've had a number of different things. Our wonderful teachers, police officers, people who've just overcome things in life to, and we give God, all the glory, relative to it. So we just thank God for continuing to allow us to be here tonight. And I've tagged and text all the women I know, and men, you're welcome too, but I've texted all the women I know. So hopefully they're going to put things down and start showing up pretty soon, either here on Facebook or on YouTube, to see this woman that we have on tonight. Now, Miss Linda Husser, I met her, I guess it's been a few weeks now, on, if you've heard of the app called Clubhouse, okay. And she has a club in there. And the first word I saw was bodacious. And I had not heard that word in a long time. And then I said, I think it said Bodacious Black Women over 50. And I was like, oh, I'm a long way over 50, but I can listen to that. And so I joined in, and I've missed some fabulous ones because she's had some fabulous ones about, us not being able to find jobs. And I forgot the lady who's written the book, but it was 4 sessions and I didn't get to hear all of them, but I heard some of them and they were really good. And so I asked if in her busy schedule, she could come on and talk to us tonight and tell her story. So for all of you who have been waiting, since I've been texting and doing all of that, I want to bring on camera Ms. Linda Husser.
Oh my goodness.
Linda Susan Husser. It's okay. Linda. So you can do what
Hi.
you Look, you don't even know what's happened on this show sometimes. So it's all good. We don't,
okay.
No judgment zone.
Okay.
How are you tonight?
I am wonderful. I am really wonderful. I'm wonderful for many reasons, but the main reason is getting clarity on the direction of my life. Because as we move up this ladder of life, that's what I like to call it, whether you call it aging with excellence, whether you call it woman of a certain age, whether you call it mature woman of substance and style, the bottom line is we are moving up the ladder of life. And my whole thing is all about reinvention and regret proofing our lives, period. Because a lot of times we tend to think that, we're getting a little bit too old and too late. And I don't believe that. I rebuke that.
I know that's
right. As long as you're here, you might as well persevere. If you are alive, then you might as well thrive. None of this
Amen.
existing crap. I'm
Yeah.
done with all that. So
I
I'm
know that's
excited
right.
to be here in case you
I
hadn't
know
noticed.
that's right. Now, Linda, in all your excitement, let's go back a little bit. So tell us,
Yes.
where are you from? Where you were born? You know, how many states have you lived in? That's the thing with me because I've lived in three times. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
so
Well,
who did you start out with being?
I was born in New York, but we left there when I was about 3. My dad was actually from Wilmington, Delaware. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of that place.
Oh yeah.
But Wilmington, Delaware, which is, the DMV, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, in that area. And we lived there for a little bit. My dad was a happy schizophrenic. So
Mm,
mental illness ran deep.
mm,
And my mom was a cheerful, codependent, loving mother who stood by her man. There were 6 children. So, I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it too. Like, who's going to step in and help me with all these kids? But either way, he was a happy schizophrenic. He wasn't like super violent or anything, but he would have breakdowns. So we ended up moving a lot. So I was born in New York. I lived in Delaware. Then I've lived in South Carolina, New Orleans, uh, Sacramento, Hollywood, California, Huntington Beach, California, Anaheim, California. And now I am living in Atlanta, Georgia. Moved here Halloween of 2020 because we will follow our men, won't we now? Yes, we. So
yes.
that's where I am right
Halloween
now.
too.
I also went to the Air Force. So I lived in
Oh,
England. Yes, I lived in England, and then for 2 years, and then I went to Texas. Went back to Texas because you start at Lackland Air Force Base
yeah,
for training, basic training. So went back there. So yeah, I've been around the world. I lived in New York. I said that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I've been around.
Yeah, my son put in New York because that's where he lives now. He works at NYU, so he's
Oh, okay.
yelling out for New York. So
Ooh.
when were you in the Air Force? Was it after high school or something?
It
Or
was after high school. Yes, 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 yes. I
okay,
went to the Air Force 84 to 88.
okay,
And it was a really wonderful experience. I needed that because I had been pretty traumatized uh, from a lot of the movement. We moved a lot. We were unsettled.
mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to be a part of something. We are put here to form relationships and be part of like a tribe. And I never really felt like I was part of a tribe. So I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure part of the Air Force was belonging. I wanted a sense of
Right.
belonging. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Did you enjoy Mexican food in San Antonio?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, yes, I did. But you know what? The Air Force, I don't know what it is like in the other Army,
Uh-huh.
Marines,
Uh-huh.
but they feed you really good in the Air Force. So when I was in San Antonio the first time, it was just basic training, so you don't really get to do anything. But when I went back after the 2 years in England, it was really
Oh,
good being a part of
okay.
that.
Now, I always ask people who've lived overseas, especially in England and some of those areas, did you ever think about staying there or going back to live there?
Absolutely not.
You didn't.
One
Okay.
thing that I can say is that I am an American through and through. I did not like, I like the culture. I like the fact that you're so close to all these other different countries. Like you
Uh-huh.
can literally take the ferry to France and be
Uh-huh.
in Paris. I like that, Scotland and Spain and Greece and, all these other
Right, right.
Germany places are there. But I never once
Never wanted
thought,
to live there.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm an American through and through. I like stuff being open. I like the food. I like the culture. There is no place like America. I mean, some people want to leave here when they retire or go live somewhere else. Well, God bless them, but I will be here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm basically there now. I've been tempted with the Caribbean and stuff because I make jewelry and stuff, and I said I could probably make her because I like the Bahamas better than Jamaica. I'll put it like that. And so
Hmm.
the people in the Bahamas just seem so carefree and just so nice. And then I like the food, so I was like, I might be able to do that, but I don't know how long I would last. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, yeah. You got to know yourself.
Yeah,
Some people can do it, but I just like the culture of America. You know what I mean? I really do.
Yeah. I have friends who were here and just recently retired and left and moved to Panama. And they
Mm.
thing is they got stuck in Panama during the pandemic and came to love
Ooh.
it and came back, sold their house, and they are now in Panama. I get a little
Okay.
jealous. She's always sending pictures, and I'm a water person. I love the beach. And so she's always sending the beach pictures. So that's, that's
Right.
so what about family? You have lots of brothers and
I
sisters,
do.
or
I have five brothers and sisters. They're all in California, where I came from.
wow.
Mama's in California, so I'll be going back. My birthday is June 5th, so I'm leaving, I think, the 27th of May to go back. And I'll probably stay there I would really love to stay there for a month, but I think my honey would have a fit. But I'm gonna get 2 weeks in good.
Okay, a good
And
2 weeks.
yeah, a good 2 weeks and my mom is of age now, so I really was feeling some kind of way about leaving her and coming to Atlanta. But I've got five siblings there, so it's not like I just left her by herself, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And she didn't want to come either. She's like, I'm not. She likes the sun, and me too.
yeah.
This was a rough winter for me being here in
Oh, I'm
Atlanta.
sure. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it
First
was.
time in
I
many
mean,
years.
but it was rough here in Texas, and we're not necessarily used to some of this stuff that they had here. So
Hmm.
it's been a crazy weather year period. I think.
Hmm.
So now, after you got out of the Air Force, what did you do? Did you go into a particular profession, or
I
what did you do?
did. After I got out of the Air Force, I moved back home, and my parents they were in Sacramento, and
Mhm.
Sacramento is really, really slow, and I'm used to Southern California, right?
Okay.
So I got there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is it, Mom? Why did you move here? And she said she did it for the kids, right? She needed them to be in a different space. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to beauty school. I went to beauty school because when I was in the Air Force, I just had a knack for hair. So we were in England, and they really didn't have no good stylists in England for the sisters.
Uh-huh.
So we had a beautician on base, but she wasn't any good. So I just started going to the BX, which is like our big store, so to
Uh-huh.
speak. And I would get my perms and I would do my hair and I would just do it all up. And people start asking me, did you go to London to get your hair done? I said, I did not. I did it myself. And I started doing the girls' hair and making money. I
Oh,
started making more money doing hair than I was working for the Air Force. And I was like, ooh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this and get licensed and
question, right?
really do this right. Yep.
Cool, cool. So did
Mhm.
you ever have your own salon, or you worked in other
I
salons?
did. And it's such an interesting story because I started life coaching. I was doing hair for like 30 years.
Oh,
When I came here to Atlanta, I had put 30 years in. And I started doing a life coaching about my 26th year.
wow.
And because, as stylists, we're bootleg therapists. And I would be
Yeah.
giving all kinds of advice, and my clients would be doing it. And one of my best clients, who had been with me for about 20 years, has said, Linda, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. You got to get from behind the chair. Because she was like, your passion might be hair. She was like, but it is not your purpose. And that's
Mm,
when I realized I wasn't just doing hair, I was doing hearts,
mm,
right? And
mm-hmm.
so I got certified, and then it got to a point where that whisper was like, Linda, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be out there helping, Black women over 50, which is, what I ended up doing,
Mm,
navigate to their next and really figure out with this time they have left. Because let's be clear, right? Not trying to be morbid, but there's probably more years behind us than in front of us.
oh yeah,
Let's
definitely, definitely.
and a lot of us are getting to a point now where we're starting to wonder, okay, I'm okay living the way I'm living and I'm okay doing what
Mhm.
I'm doing, but it's just not enough anymore, right? But what does more look like, right? And
Mhm.
so I just help them navigate to their next. I help them really look at what it is they really want to do, creating their ideal life, not just settling for the life that they're living, and
Now,
use that time effectively.
your friend said something about passion, but not your purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
deep.
it is deep. And you know, unfortunately, let's just be clear, a lot of people think that their passion is their purpose, and
But
they're
a
two
lot of
totally
people tell
different
it.
things.
You know, a lot of people tell them that. A lot of people say that. So that's, that was popular one time. Find your passion and it will take you to your purpose. And, so tell us
It
about it.
will if you let it, though, right? Because
Uh-huh.
you have to, in other words, your purpose will move you in such a way where you will walk in it freely, meaning
Mm,
without compensation. So a
mm,
lot of times what keeps us from moving into our purpose is we're trying to figure out, well, how are we going to make the money? Especially
mm,
at this stage of our lives. We're in our 50s and up, and we're like, well, look, I almost done paid off my mortgage, cars paid off, kids are out of the house or whatever, and we want to coast. Let's be clear. We are not taught or programmed that at this stage of our lives, we should still be dreaming. It
right.
is what it is, right? So all that stuff that we put on the back burner, we're not really necessarily looking to go back there. But at the same time, we're not fulfilled either. We're
Right.
we're frustrated, but we're
Mm.
not willing. We don't have the guts to do what it is that we need to do because we
That you
weren't
need.
about what other people think. We weren't
Woo!
about if our spouse or significant other
Woo!
gonna think we crazy. Like, girl, you want
Woo!
to do what at this age? What? So that's why I do what I do, because I want for the women who know that they want to squeeze some more juice out of life, who
Mhm.
know that they have been tiptoeing around what's really
Mhm.
going on. I give them the courage and the wings to fly. That's what I do. And
Ooh.
I honor them, and I give them the permission slip, just like we used to have in school. When your mama signed the permission slip, I have them write out their own personal permission slip and sign it and give
Mm.
themselves permission to be who they really, really, really know that they were born to be.
Well, I'm too old and I can't think like I used to think. And
Who
I
you?
can't, these are the excuses that you
Oh,
hear.
I was getting ready to say, wait a minute. Who we
Oh,
talking
no, no, no. I have a millennial mind. Okay. I took the
about
millennial
here?
test, and I'm more millennial than the millennials. So I'm
Okay.
okay. And they call me what is one lady that used to do my hair, she called me the gangster mom. I'll try anything and challenge
Okay.
my children to it. You can ask my son, so I'm okay. But that's things that you hear. I talk about people going back to school. I got my master's at 60,
Oh,
and that
that's
was
awesome.
2 years ago. And
That
I'd
is
go to law
awesome.
school if I could find somebody to pay for it. Anybody listening that want to help an old lady go to law school, I'll make A's too. I promise.
You know what though? As quiet as it's kept, you put that out there, you get your movement going. Somebody will sponsor you. I
Hey,
guarantee you.
I'm serious. I speak it so they can. But no, but though I was just saying that there are a lot of excuses that we use as
Yes.
to why we don't do things that we
Yes.
want to do. And a
Absolutely.
lot of it is concerned
Oh,
about
I'm
what
hot.
people will say. See,
So most people wouldn't do this, but I will.
yeah, go ahead. Look, I
I
got
need a
my
pretty
ceiling fan
fan,
up.
but I don't even know where my fan is. So
I
we
got my
just gonna have
ceiling
to do
fan
with
on.
this.
That's why I'm okay.
Mm.
But yeah, what do you tell those people who have, oh, I'm too old, I can't
First of
think like
all,
I used to?
a lot of those people, I talk to the people who want to be, who need that gentle kick in the pants.
Mm.
Quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of people who are okay being okay. There's a lot of people who are comfortable being uncomfortable. There's a lot of people who have convinced themselves that living that mediocre, mundane, ho-hum life is okay
Mhm.
because they surround themselves with other people who live
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I call it the whisper. A lot of people don't listen to the whispers. They don't. And that dream that they used to have way back then, first it was a roar and they used to be excited and they could hardly sleep at night. Then over time, they get beat up by life or they have friends, because if you a unicorn, you cannot be hanging out with donkeys. That's step one, right? And so a lot of us, because we are a unicorn and we don't really like standing out, we'll take our horn off because we don't want people seeing that. We'll take our little colorful tail off because we don't want people seeing that. We'll start downplaying ourselves. And, I got this nice green shirt on and this, they have black on and gray and navy blue all the time, just trying not to stand out.
Yeah.
So I don't get to talk to those people, and I'm not trying to be flip, but when you say, what do you say to those people don't step to me, right?
Okay.
But what do I say to people who say, you know what, Linda, I'm starting to feel invisible and I don't like it. I'm starting to live my life through the rearview mirror instead of like looking at what's possible for me now. Those are the people who, go to speaktolinda.com so that they can get their free midlife mojo session. Those are the people that I know are ready to up level their life, right? That can't really see themselves doing this, living that life for the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah. I'm trying to type your Speak to Linda in here. Speaktolinda.com.
Yeah, speaktolinda.com. That's where you can get the midlife mojo session call. It's a 30-minute call. And because one of the things that is unfortunate for most people is they'll spend $3,000 on a Louis Vuitton purse or those Christian Louboutin shoes or some hair and the weave. By the time they buy the Indian hair, because I know this because I made money doing hair, and my clients would come in with all the Gucci this and the this that. I have been in the game a minute, so people had to pay for my experience. But we won't invest in our well-being. We won't invest in our self-enrichment. We won't do that. We will stay stuck and say I'm stuck. Like people will tell you, girl, I just feel so stuck. As if there's no solution.
Yeah.
But they just they can't even imagine really, when we really get down to it, they can't imagine being unstuck. They've come to accept it. And then every now and then they have remnants of when they used to be outgoing and when they used to have, zest and zeal in their life. But then they'll just shrink back down because everybody around them is like that. And
they agree. They all agree to that. It's okay. You can
absolutely.
Somewhere,
absolutely.
I don't remember where, somewhere, and it was one thing that encouraged me was that it was, I don't know, it was some speaker, and I don't think it was you, but it was someone that was talking about giving the ages of all of these incredible things that people did at age 70 and 60 something maybe, and even 80. I mean, incredible things. And I don't have the list. I said I need to get it to put it in front of me. But and then there are people in the Bible who did all of these things, when they were older. But these were modern day people. And when you think of them, they were very, very famous. And you know that they only hit the spot at 70 years old.
Yeah.
So if we're looking back and not thinking it's anything exciting, we're missing out on a lot. I mean, those things.
But most people are, though. When they say the 1%, I just keep it 100. I think 1% is pretty much everything, not just in money, but in fulfillment, in finding purpose in their lives, all of that. Because most people are sheeple.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Pied Piper, we've all heard that story. Most people are not marching to their own drumbeat or blazing their own trail. They're living their life by default, right? It's almost like the Stepford Wives. You remember the movie The Stepford Wives? Most people are the Stepford Wives, just going along to get along. And that's why when you think of people throughout history who have really changed the game, it's not that many. When you think of how long this earth has been here.
Yeah.
And the people like Edison and Benjamin Franklin and Mother Teresa and Nelson Mandela and you know what I'm saying? It's like maybe 100 people.
Yeah.
As long as we've been on this earth. And that just goes to show you it's not easy being extraordinary or being brave and having the guts to step into who you are. but it's necessary if you're going to be fulfilled and live the life that you really, really want to live, right?
Mm-hmm. So now you're into the 50s now, but have you always been this way, or where
Not
did
at
you
all.
have any, where did you
Not at
have
all.
that flip? That because
My
I know I haven't
49th
always been
birthday.
this way.
My 49th birthday was
Okay.
the wake up call.
Mm,
And I don't know what it was. And I turned 49, and like 3 weeks after I turned 49, I would just remember saying, is this it? Literally, is this all there is to my life? I literally asked myself the question. And I was successful, salon owner, nice home, car, and all that. But there was this nagging feeling that I wasn't really doing what I was supposed to be doing. And
okay.
so I really became functionally depressed. I did not want to have a 50th birthday party. Um, I just, I just didn't, I just wasn't feeling it because I felt like I was almost 100, half a century. And what have I done in 50 years? You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like that's a long time. If you think of what changed from 1900 to 1950, the cars came,
yeah.
planes, all this stuff, and I'm thinking I haven't done nothing near that in my years. And so what I ended up doing is I went on this journey to significance, to rediscover who I was, because I said I cannot go into 50 like this. I'm not just going to have that 50th birthday party, spend up all my money, have all these people, eating up
Mm-hmm.
my food, and $10,000, $15,000 later, I'm waking up the day after the party thinking, oh my gosh, now I'm in debt and I'm more depressed than ever. So I didn't have a 50th birthday party. I sure did not.
Mm,
But by the time I turned 50, I had, invested in a coach. No, I think I had invested in a couple coaches because I
okay.
wasn't into self-development. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
here's the thing, most Black people are not. Let's just be clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we feel that Jesus got it all covered.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that to be
Right.
flip,
I
but it
understand.
is what it is.
Yeah.
And so when we stuck and we are a believer, or we stuck and we go to church, we
Mm,
just I don't know what that's all about. But Black folks don't really get the help that they need, whether it
yeah.
be through a therapist, a life coach. We
Mhm.
don't really meditate. We don't do none of that because it's woo woo to us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's really life saving stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jesus got it all covered, but he gives us common sense, and he says, faith without works is dead. So we can be believing all day long, but if we don't do anything towards that belief, then that's where we're not doing our part. Jesus is always going to do his part. He's going to always do his part, but
Mhm.
it's not always ours. So you got unstuck. And you
Yes.
start progressing towards, you said you began a journey to significance.
Significance, right. I wasn't feeling significant. And the first step, though, what we have to do is we have to keep it honest with ourselves.
Mm,
We wear all these masks and we lie and front and all that stuff with other people. But we do that so much that we be fronting to ourselves. We don't even know who we are to ourselves. And so I had to get honest with myself,
mm,
right? And just become aware of the fact that I don't feel significant. I don't
mm,
feel like I have really done anything with all these gifts and talents that I have. Like I haven't even scratched the surface. And how did I get to wake up to be 49 here? So I had to become aware, right? And
uh-huh,
then I had to have like an awakening. Okay, first you become aware and you're like, okay, there's something going on here. And then I just had this awakening, like something has to change. I could not
mm,
get any peace, right? And then
mm,
I got into action. That's where the coaching came from. I started Googling and doing all these type of things.
mm,
Um, and then I got into uh action, right? And
uh-huh,
then I had to like make some adjustments, right? Because I was just crazy, like a person on crack. I was just hungry for it. And then I
mm,
realized, whoa, Linda, you
uh,
paying $3,000 to go on this retreat, paying $5,000 to go over here with this program. Okay, you growing, but now let's bring it back a little bit, bring it back. And so that's when I made some adjustments and realized, okay, I'm good. And then at that point I just started like experimenting and just seeing who I resonated resonated with. And then that's when I decided, I actually wanted to do the work for real, and go to school and get certified. And that's how Ignite Your Midlife Mojo came to be. Bodacious Black Woman, all of that just came from my reinvention and realizing that a lot of women, and I'm just unapologetically Black, so I'm trying to help my peoples first. Caucasians and other folks coming to the club, Bodacious Black Women over 50, absolutely. But they already come in knowing they're going to be surrounded by chocolate. And if they cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. And some that I've seen come in on Clubhouse, they feel right at home.
Absolutely.
They feel right at home.
Absolutely.
On your journey to significance, did you lose any of your friends?
Absolutely. Pretty much all of them. But here's the thing. I was surrounded by donkeys, though. That's why I say that. And I don't say that to be mean. But the cool thing about releasing those friends is I had a whole new tribe, people who thought like me, people who wanted to be significant, people who wanted to up their game and really step into their power, people who wanted to gain the guts and the grace, because you got to give yourself grace for the fact that you didn't really do all you were supposed to do. So, gaining the guts and the grace to really live a life on fire. Not simmering like the coals, but on fire, right? And that we can do that, because if we are truly made in the image of God, this is when stuff really started like firing. Then that means I'm a goddess, right? Which means I need to be doing goddessy type stuff. Right? Because goddesses aren't mediocre and mundane. That's when you think of goddess, that's not what comes to mind. Is somebody just going along to get along. That when you think goddess, that's somebody blazing trails, marching to their own drum beat, like the S on the chest and all that type of stuff, some superhero type of stuff, right? Not the average ordinary human, right? And I don't say that to say if that's not what you want to do, that you are not significant. But I'm trying to be extraordinary. So that's extraordinary.
Yeah. I think
that's just a choice that
I heard George Fraser, the money mogul. He was saying, I think he was one of the people that I heard say something about, I think between 55 and up, or can be the most productive years of your life because of your life experiences and all the things you've learned and all of this and the wisdom that you're supposed to have and all of that. I was like, oh Lord, I'm good. It's all right.
But the operative word is can be.
Yes, can.
It's still a choice.
Yes, it's still a choice.
Right?
Yeah, it's still a choice. So where did you get the name Bodacious Black Women? That's where
what? Bodacious is like you said, it's an old word, but I was looking for a word. I knew I wanted Black woman in it, and I didn't want strong Black woman, not because I don't think that you're strong, but I think that adjective has done us a disservice. And so I wanted something that spoke to our strength without being strong Black woman. So bodacious actually is a combination of the two words bold and audacious. Bodacious. And it sounds delicious too. I like the way it falls off the tongue, bodacious Black woman, right?
It definitely caught me. So
and I wanted it to be different because there's so much of the same out here, and no shade on anybody, but boomer is tired to me. That's just a tired word. Generation Z or whatever we supposed to be, that's tired. But bodacious Black woman over 50. Now that's saying something right there.
Yeah, that's definitely saying something. And it's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
But you have to understand it and be unapologetic about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And not mean, rude, or any of that. But understanding who you are,
Absolutely.
And that's and you said something earlier about no regrets.
Regret proof your life.
Yeah.
We can regret proof our life.
How do you suggest we do that?
Well, one of the things is you have to be 100% honest with yourself. It starts
Mhm.
there. And you have to ask yourself, what is it that I really want? Not what
Mm.
I've settled for, not what my mama thinks I should have, not what my husband or my significant other, not what the kids have told me, not what my friends said I'd be good at. What do I
Mm.
want? What
Mm.
am I good at? You know what I mean? What are the things that bring me joy? What
Right,
would
right.
I do for free?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
That is how you regret proof your life. But most of us don't even allow ourselves the opportunity to have that
Yeah.
conversation because we probably just bust out crying because we would realize I haven't done anything that I've
Yeah.
really wanted to do.
Right.
I've settled, I've made choices for this one, this one, this one, and this one. And no, nothing necessarily wrong with that. But my whole thing is, if not now, when? Because you said you couldn't do it because you had to get the kids to school. You couldn't do it because you wanted to get the house. You couldn't do it because you needed a car. You couldn't do it because of this, and this.
Mm.
Now, what's the reason why? You
Yeah.
50 something now. What's
Yeah.
going on now? And
Yeah.
that's why I say you must keep it real with yourself
Yeah. Yeah. That
first.
talking to yourself, looking in the mirror and talking to yourself and being real with yourself, because self knows what's real and what's not.
And our mind protects us. So if we tell our mind, right? Because our mind is here to protect us. So if we tell our mind, I really don't want that. It's not going to say, yes, you do, girl. I
Yeah.
remember when you used to say you one day. Your mind is going to be like, oh, okay, then, no problem. And it's going to shut that part off. Every
Mm-hmm.
now and then, though, that the human spirit will rise up and
Mm-hmm.
it'll say, now, wait a minute, Linda, I do remember you said that. But then the mind will come and say, we're not doing that today. And then it just shut it down. But then the spirit will rise back up. And so it's this double dutch that you start playing with yourself and with your dreams. And you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm gonna do it when I get enough money, when the stars are right, when somebody tells me I can do it, when this, when then did this, and then you're 97 years old and somebody's interviewing and asking you, well, I know you're in your twilight years and what would you have done? And you will
Mm-hmm.
say, I would have I would have bet on myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have had more faith in myself.
Yeah.
I would have trusted myself more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so that's where I don't want to be, which is why
Yeah.
I left the salon and everybody said I was crazy because I
Mm.
was coaching and managing the salon and working. And I said, I can't do this. I'm burning
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And moved to Atlanta. And they said, what? You going to sell the salon and move to Atlanta? No, I am. I sure am because I can't tell people that there's life on the other side and then I'm not living that life, right?
Mm.
And I wanted to always operate from integrity. I
Yeah.
can now say I sold the salon and moved 2,500 miles away during the pandemic
During the
because
pandemic.
I
Right.
know what I know, what I know. Like Oprah said, what I know for sure is that I am an awesome, bodacious lifestyle coach.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of women out there who need me
Yeah.
because they can't do it on their own for whatever reason. I don't even care
Yeah.
what the reason.
Yeah.
But if you're ready to take the next step, I can help you navigate to your next so you can live the life that you really want to live. Stop counting down to retirement and seeing how much is in your 401k and all this
All
stuff
stuff.
and
Well,
live
and
your life.
somebody's asking how much, but I'm gonna just put the thing back up there.
Yes, yes, just go
Call,
through the process. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
go through the process and go online and just sign up, put your email in or whatever, so that she can contact you, so you can have the time to talk with her, because that's
Right.
the best way to see, what you need to do. Linda, what would you tell people? Okay, somebody's listening, and I know first to tell them go to speaktolinda.com, but tonight, what would you tell them, questions to ask themselves to see if they're stuck, or to see if they're sitting in a hopeless or a regretful position? What questions would you have them ask themselves?
When you get up in the morning, are you inspired?
Mm,
Are you just getting up to get up? Do you
mm,
like what you're doing? Do you jump out of bed singing because you're so excited to go to work or to start your day?
Well, I may need to call you on that. I ain't jumping up in the morning, okay?
I'm just saying,
I
when
know.
you are truly, when you are truly like me, I'm just so excited because I'm getting to do what it is that I know I was put here to do. Because here's the thing, we have little tidbits. I remember as a young girl always rooting for the underdog, always standing up to the bullies. I wanted everybody to be happy. I was a very social child. And so the fact that I did hair for so long and advised and counseled, it all fits in. So when you think about if you stuck or not, first of all, you know if you stuck. So let's just be clear.
Right.
The question you must ask yourself is what are you willing to do to get unstuck?
Mm.
See, it's not about what does it cost to get what does it cost to coach with me? It's what's the cost of living an unfulfilled, frustrating, meaningless life? What is that costing you?
Right. Yeah.
That's the question. Because if you want to be bodacious like me, and I know I exude energy, right? I had to pay to play. I had to get coaching
Right.
to
Yeah.
figure out what was holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I knew that, I would not have been stuck.
Right. Right. If you could fix it yourself, you would have fixed it a long time ago.
Exactly. But we so busy covering up and distracting ourselves, like we'll go to bingo. That's not how you're gonna get unstuck. That's gonna take you away from the fact maybe that you unstuck for that 2 hours, but now you're gonna be $300 less, and you feeling worse, and you stuck. Instead of just getting your coins together so that you can get on the path to your next best life, so that you can start living your life for real.
Yeah.
Instead of existing. Most of us are existing.
Existing.
We are not living.
Yeah. Yeah. So, now how many sisters do you have? Are they all as bodacious as you? Like, okay, you can't answer that, right?
No, not really, because I've always been extra,
I,
but
I understand.
society can beat that out of us sometimes because we're not really celebrated for being they'll try to put that square thing in the round peg, and that has been my life. But that's why I do what I do. Because like I said, I know there's more years behind me than in front of me. And I had to make a decision. How do I want to live the rest of my life? And most people will not ask themselves that question either. They don't ask themselves that kind of question.
Well, a lot of people don't want to talk about death, period. So they don't even want to talk about how many years do I have for the rest of my life. A lot of people.
But there's more than one kind of death, though.
Well, yeah, you can be walking around dead for sure.
And a lot of people are. There's no spark there. You almost have to go up to them and blow on them and put your hand under their nose to make sure they're breathing, girl. Please.
No, it's funny. I can relate to being extra because I've always been, and even, my jobs, I've been extra. I've been a woman in male dominated industries, and they want you to be a certain way. And I'm just like, I never did get into the gray suits and you see, I got on colors and I love my colors. I never could get, but that was an external thing. There was a lot of things internal, like you say, they can beat you down to where you're questioning yourself sometimes. You don't have that, security, and I didn't. But I learned it. I've come out. But when I look at how people will try to change you and change you for money, whether it's a promotion or whatever, you have to decide who you want to be. And now even more so as you get older, tell me the lady's name who wrote the book, who you had on your show before.
Elizabeth White. Hold on, girl. Even though this ain't even about her, I got the book here.
I know, but it's just
I love her.
It was just wonderful. If you have not read her book, It is really good. 55 and underemployed and faking normal. That faking normal is funny for me. I was like, like ain't nothing wrong. Like now it's something wrong. I can't. Nobody won't hire me. I can't find a job. And when you're in that, sometimes I was thinking it was only me until I started talking to people. And then when I saw her in the book, I'm like, Lord have mercy, somebody's me. With all my assets, with all the things, experience, nobody wants to hire me. How about that?
But you know what we won't do though? Is we will not tap into our God-given gifts and talents and do for self.
Okay. Gotcha.
We won't monetize our magic.
You're right.
Right?
Yep.
Because by Elizabeth writing that book, she created a whole new income stream for herself that's devoid of the book. I mean, by putting that book out, she's being asked to speak. She was just down at the White House on a symposium on aging. So we've got to step outside of ourselves in order to create opportunities for ourselves.
Yeah. And I think this pandemic has done for some people, it's done that for some people, but you're right. We have to step outside of what we see as the thing, whatever the thing is that other people have placed in is the thing, because even I started this show during the pandemic because people are always saying, talking about they didn't have time to do this and they didn't have time. And I was like, said this to someone, if you don't have time to do it now, you'll never have time to do it. So then God hit me on top of my head and said, haven't you always wanted to, and that's when it happened. It's like, yeah, I have, and you can do it, and it's very easy, and I have a ball doing it. It is so much fun, doing it, and it's just like, okay, if I'd have known it was this easy, I would have done
but
it.
most of it is. It's that thing.
Yeah.
It's that thing. And it's fear. It's fantasized experiences appearing real. We fantasize about what could happen. Yeah. And we really take ourselves, we go way out. And it's like, girl, say that again now. You don't want to go try online dating because now who do you know that got chopped up? You talking about what happened to somebody else. Do you know anybody who got chopped up?
Yeah,
and so we will just talk ourselves out of a potential.
Now I know some people who I don't let my mind take me that far in deep, but it's so funny that you say that because I know some people, they can get to talking to themselves and they'll be way gone and you'll be like, where did they come from? How did you get there? That was just this, and then you were all the way over there. Where did that come from? And it's based on nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, yeah, you are so totally right. We can talk or think. I say think. I say, the devil gets in your mind and stirs it, rolls it around. That's what I always say, and just have you going, and you gone. He got you gone before you even know it. Just one little negative piece in there, and he'll take it, build it up. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
But what I think is so interesting is like we will go all the way down a rabbit hole to the negative, right? But we can just as well create this whole positive experience as well. But we just don't do that. I don't know if it's programming, if it's training, because we could just as well say, oh my gosh, I'm going to get online, or I'm going to go back to school. I know I'm 60, but you know what? I don't have Alzheimer's. I have cognitive ability. I was summa cum laude when I got my BA, so that's still there. We don't take it that way. Yeah, we'll just talk about, I'm too old and this, that, and the other. So that's what I had to really learn is that I had some stinking thinking I really needed to address because we can naturally go left, but we also have the power to go right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just so much easier to be negative than positive. And that's one thing I had to just retrain myself on.
Yeah. And just, as I always say, appreciate your value because that it says we are made in God's image. you know, when we start beating ourselves up and giving ourselves negative self-talk, I always say we're saying God lied in some way, because his image is not all that negative stuff that we're
Mm-mm.
yeah. So, you know, we're as we are, even as believers, we're questioning God when we're saying, you know, giving ourselves all that bad self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what he said, you know. So
Mm-mm.
we have to understand that is,
Mm-hmm.
you are just so fabulous. I tell you,
Thank you so much.
I love it. So, anything for the ladies? Anything for the ladies? Any jewels that you've forgotten? I know you got a jillion of them up there, you know.
You know, one thing I have to say is that you must rethink money.
Mm,
You must rethink money, and you must look at it as a resource,
mm,
especially African American women, because so many of us did not come from means. So many of us watched our moms saying, girl, money don't grow on trees, or, you know, we
mm,
stretching food, we wearing hand-me-down clothes, or no, you still got some soul left on them shoes. It ain't time for no new shoes and all this type of stuff. And so we grow up and we have become a community of consumers,
mm,
but we're consuming the wrong stuff. And
mm.
we're consuming the wrong stuff, trying to replace the inadequacy that we feel. That's where all that designer stuff, because these other folks out here making money, driving these Bentleys, girl, they got the same purse they've been had for 10, 15 years, and they will go get the strap replaced when it's
Yes,
about to come off
or
instead of go buy a new purse. Okay?
get a
They will
refurb.
resold those
Yeah.
shoes, all of that. And they got tons of money. But
Mm,
and they will take their resources and go get therapy. They'll
mm,
go to Maui for 2, 3 weeks at a time and just regroup and get themselves together. And some of us can't remember the last vacation we took
yeah,
because we busy crying
yeah.
and trying to, get to the next level. And I'm saying we got to rethink that. So the gem that I would say is rethink money, rethink your mental health and what that means, rethink self-care. When was the last time you went on a vacation? I know we in the pandemic, but before then, so before you say, oh well, we in the pandemic. Well, what did
Yeah,
you do before the pandemic?
before the pandemic.
Did you get massages once or twice a
Mm,
month? Go to
mm,
the spa. Like, what was your self-care like? And you don't always have to go somewhere, but how often did you take a bath, just run the water and sit your butt down in the tub? Why is it we just always got to be rushing and take a shower and do this? Some of us can't even take the time to put the lotion on our feet. We just jumping in the clothes and running.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I would say, how are you in the main areas of your life? Is there harmony and balance in your spirituality and your health and wellness and your finances and your relationships and your romance? What are those areas looking like? Because you could be a 10 in one area. Like I was a 10 at work, but my relationships were,
mm,
my romance was, mm, my health was okay, but I mean, I could have stepped it up. Spirituality, I'm a pray and do all that.
mm,
But you got to have a
mm,
holistic um, experience with your life. And
yeah,
so that's what I would say. Look at your life. Look at those areas in your life that I just gave you. And on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? And
mm,
and, and it's not about balance because I don't believe in balance. There's no way you're going to be balanced in all the areas, but you can have harmony.
mhm. Okay,
So
okay.
look at those areas in your life and where are you? Look at where you are in your life. And is this where you really want to be?
Mm,
Ask
mm.
yourself the questions. We don't ask ourselves the questions because we don't want to know the answers.
You
We
don't
don't
want
want to look at ourselves and say, you know what, life is really sucking right now.
it. Mm-hmm.
But we'll get trapped
Mm,
in the sameness of life.
mm.
And we'll start to tell ourselves that this is it. This is the best I can
This
do.
is all
And
there
it's
is.
not so bad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
horrible if that's not where you want to be.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So that's what I would say.
Okay. Now, one guest did ask, how does your spouse support you?
He understands that this person that I am is a happy person, a fulfilled person, is a confident person, and he loves that person. And so he's like, yay, Linda, go. Because let me tell you one thing, confidence is contagious.
Yeah.
Confidence is sexy. Confidence makes you just glow. I make him look good. He's excited when I do me, because this lady that you see right now, just because we're in a pandemic, Miss Linda gets up every day and gets her bathe on, puts her face on. I didn't just do this because I'm coming here. This is how I do me.
Right.
And I work from home.
Uh-huh.
But I'm always getting myself together. And this is a wig, and I have several of them, but you will never see me busted. I will be sick if I'm not put together. And I'm not saying that you have to do that, but you have to decide what makes you tick, what makes you glow, and do that. And be honest with yourself. I don't like when I don't have my lipstick on and all that. I don't like that. It doesn't mean that you got to do it, but I don't like that. You will catch me in Sephora. I love to go to Ulta. I order makeup and stuff. I look at the YouTube videos for the chocolate girl, trying to learn how to do my stuff and not look like a clown. Most certainly, yes, I do. And I'm just honest about that. You know,
it makes you feel happy because, quite frankly, getting up, putting on clothes, putting on makeup, just could brighten your day. But some people who it does not, there's something that
else that they So find what your thing is. This is my thing. You know what I mean? This is my thing. And you have to be true. I keep going back to that. You have to, number one, take 100% responsibility for your life. That's the first thing. I don't care what you've been through, because so have other people. You are not the only one. Let's just be clear. Not trying to step on no toes, but you're not the only one who's been molested. You're not the only one whose daddy left. You're not the only one who, mama wasn't there for them. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
And so think about, again, when we look at our lives, there's two ways we can go, right? We can fantasize and make it horrible, but we could just as well fantasize and make it awesome.
Yes.
And always choose awesome, because we're flawsome.
Yes.
That's what we are, is flawsome. Right?
Flawsome. Okay. That's a new
nobody's word. Perfect. Awesome. I am flawsome, honey. I do have some.
All right.
But I used to have skeletons in the closet, but I don't anymore. I released all that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's good too, because when you keep them in the closet, it continues to eat at you. Every time you go in the closet, it's there. And
people can use that against you too.
People can use it against you.
When you tell all your stuff yourself, it's like, okay, so now what?
Thank you. That's what, and people, laugh at me. I'm like, no, it's better out than in, because nobody, I'm better. But that's, it's a journalistic thing about, giving your own narrative. You
Absolutely.
have a narrative, and then nobody else has anything else, to
Absolutely.
Go. You direct your narrative. So you can know all the stuff there is to know. And then I can proceed forward in confidence, not being bothered about who knows whatever, and no, it's
and in the work I do, I have to be transparent. Because the biggest challenge that people have is they don't know how to speak their truth, not even to themselves. Okay. They've been wearing masks for so long that they take the mask off and put another mask on. That's how bad it is, right? So they got the mask for the outside, and then they got the mask for themselves. And so this deep self-work, we must all do that in order to live the life that we desire and deserve. You have to break through that baggage that has you bound. And I'm not saying,
it's continuous.
Absolutely.
You have to continue. You have
to. It's a daily process, because it keeps coming up.
Yeah,
It
it
keeps
will
coming
keep.
up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
But
It's
you just put on your boxing gloves and you just start duking it out with fear. You know? And
yeah,
you have to duke it out because see, most people are trying to get to their whole thing is, and when I'm fearless, if you growing, there's gonna be fear. The only time you're not fearful is when you're not doing nothing.
nothing.
There's no fear in the comfort zone. But
No,
as you get out the comfort zone and put one foot in front of the other, that fear will no longer be there. But then here comes the other fear because
oh,
as you grow, there's fear. But
yeah,
what you're really looking for is how do you manage fear, not how do you become fearless.
yeah,
Like when fear shows up, what do you do? Do you retreat?
yeah,
Or do you look fear in the eye and say, you need to go sit down somewhere because I got work to do?
yeah.
It
And if
is
your dream is big enough, there's going to be fear because they say your dream should be something, you can't do by yourself, basically something that's, so extraordinary. Of course, a God has to have his hand in it, but that you
for
can't do,
sure.
that you can't do it by yourself. So there's going to
Right.
be fear moving to the uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a good type of fear, as you say, as long as you manage it. Boy, we
Right.
can have to get off here because you're fanning too hard.
Girl, girl, I don't know if it's these lights. What's going on, girl? 'Cause I got these bright lights because the chocolate be needing some lights, right? I can't come up here and have it shadows and stuff. Be blending in with the darkness.
You are so silly. Oh, Linda, I want to tell you, it has been a pleasure. Now, I want everybody on here, and this will be up on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you know some ladies who need to look at it, have them go. Please, everybody that's on here, go to speak2linda.com and sign up for her talk 30-minute talk session or 30 minutes, whatever.
Uh-oh. Oh, I don't know what happened.
It's coming back. Here it is.
Okay. I don't know if it was me or you, honey.
No,
I told
it's
you.
probably this weather here because we're having bad weather. But do go to her website and have a talk with her. And then it'll also take you to her other, she has another website that has things about the Bodacious woman on there.
Yeah. And I've got a freebie too. Bodacious affirmations for Black women over 50.
That's on this one. That's on the Linda Husser, right?
Yes, lindashusser.com.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
There's
yes,
a
yes.
free download at lindahusser.com. So go to her website and check her out. And Linda, I always pray for my guests before we get
Okay, girl, let's do it. I'm gonna close my eyes and everything.
Father God, I just thank you for this night. I thank you for the information that Linda has given us. I thank you for her transparency. I thank you for her integrity and her authenticity, God. Father, I just pray for the women that she continues to work with and that she'll find more and more to touch. Father, and that knowing that being 50 and over, 60 and over is not the end. It's not the end till you say it is. And we don't know when that is. So we got plenty that we can do as long as we're breathing and standing, Father. Somebody needs us, Father. So we need to find out what it is we're supposed to be doing so we can thrive in this life as we do our last years, regardless of how you want to say it. So God, I just thank you for her. I thank you for her time because she didn't have to do it, but I thank you and would you bless her tenfold for helping out the ladies on tonight. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So everybody, next week we'll be on talking to some people from the disability community about ableism. If you don't know what ableism is, look it up and be ready to ask questions next week. But as I say, one day I'm gonna be able to say, I'll be able to say you don't have to wear your mask. But until then, if you get vaccinated, wear your mask. But most of all, as I always say, please keep your peace. Linda, hang on for a second for me.
Okay.
Please keep your peace. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next Monday. Bye-bye. Mwah.